Hello, everybody. Ravori Sports. So here, this is Charles from Ravori Sports, and we're gonna do a standalone video. So this is not our main stream. This is not one of our shorts. We're gonna do our standalone video. First of all, best wishes to everyone out there in the year 2023. Hardly believe it. So here we are, and we're finishing another year, 2022. I want to thank all of you, no matter how many of you have watched this year. We're starting our business this year. I've had the time of my life doing this, and I mean that. This has been very exciting, very a lot. It's been awesome. That's putting it mildly, and I can't wait till next year as we get into our first full year of Ravori Sports. The website will be fully open in 2023 on Super Bowl Sunday, and also as well our content will our first full season, first year, all year of content creation. So we're going to talk sports, and on our website, if you go to our page, we got sports gear and we got sports conversation. And I'm happy to have both of those for you. Best of the year. Absolutely. So what had happened in this year, 2022? So sports, what we're going to do is we're going to go over our best of who was the best player in several areas to all the sports that we cover here throughout the NFL and MLB. So broader topic first. Let's go ahead right now to who is the best player in the NFL when you talk about all year long in the NFL. So when we talk about the NFL, it's a little tricky because the Super Bowl is in February. So what are we talking about? We're talking about this season, basically. So we are going to have an MVP. This is not the official MVP for this channel on as far as this goes, but best of so far this year. So we're also going to a little bit include last year's playoffs. Last year, who was the best offensive player in the NFL overall? Pat Mahomes. Not cool because he's so good. Wish I could be more clever, but it's a fact. I really thought not having Tyreek Hill would hurt him. It hasn't. They've slowed they don't have as much deep ball, but Mahomes is overcome. That's the mark of a great quarterback, when you can overcome the lack of weaponry. That's the difference between a Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, things like that. Guys at that level, when you can succeed in spite of your lack of what they take away from you. The fact that their offense hasn't missed a beat, the team hasn't missed a beat. Their defense isn't very good, but Pat Mahomes, he is the best player on offense in the NFL in 2022. Defense, and I think I said this before, but recently I was talking to a college football team, and I asked them, it's like, well, what type of defense do you run? It's like, well, we run multiple formations of this, and and this is kind of like what you hear from a lot of players and coaches nowadays when I have had the privilege of talking to them in recent years. So who is the best, the worst, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Who has done things this year? Micah Parsons is the future of that. You don't know really where he lines up. He's a middle linebacker, but he blitzes a lot. He plays a lot of secondary. He plays all over the field, plays anywhere on the field very well. He's fantastic. So he's been the best defensive player. Going into the year, I was really on the channel saying Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey were the two best players. I thought they were the two best players last season on any team on defense. Not just I really thought the Rams had the best two, but Micah Parsons has been fantastic. So we haven't given out this official word, but 2022 here so far, based on what we've seen last year, got to say Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, it's not an accident how good Dallas is when you have the best defensive. Everybody keeps saying offense, this offense, the offense, the third. You have the best defensive player. Dallas is really right in position. Last year, the Rams really right in position. Best Micah Parsons, according to Ravori Sports. Baseball, best of MLB. Everybody kind of wants to forget Shohei Ohtani the year he had. I did not. I had vote for an MVP. I would have not have separated the two. I couldn't. Shohei Otani, Shohei, say his name, right? Shohei Otani, uh, was awesome. Judge, we know 62 home runs. Um, I'm not as big on the whole legitimate thing about bonds and all that. I'm not as big on that, but that's a fact. Look, 62 home runs, tremendous. In a time where they're trying to stop home runs and move the ship and move fences back here, that's impressive. This guy, the year he had was fantastic. Otani, rather, as well, Shohei Otani, rather, was equally as impressive. Why they can't win, I don't know. It's not because of him. He's also developed into the reason I have time. The year he had, and he's also an ace pitcher. How do you do that? I mean, he's getting better. I mean, his class is kept. He's one of the top 10 pitchers in the American League. So you got to have him. I thought that I did not separate them. Aaron Judge and Shohei Otani were absolutely the best in the MLB last year as far as best players as well. Overall, I thought both of those guys were fantastic. All right, now we don't cover this sport because it's not a Baltimore sport, but I did want to mention NBA. I love NBA. I've been a Laker fan forever, but I didn't pick LeBron James. What made me think about this was a conversation I had recently about the whole GOAT conversation. Who is Michael Jordan was better? Because a lot of guys, like if you're my age, I'm over 40. But if you talk to a lot of young guys, I mean, for them, it's easy LeBron James. It's not Michael Jordan. Somebody came in and I was talking to them recently, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, he had a 23 shirt on GOAT." So I assumed it was Jordan, right? It was LeBron he was talking about. It was no question about it in his mind, LeBron. Now I say this because I'm not sure he's been better than this guy, Steph Curry. Steph Curry last year was fantastic. Uh, I think I don't think there's much of a gap between LeBron and Steph Curry. Curry, I mean, he's changed the game. You watch any game, and it's the three, it's the three, it's the three, it's the three. Everybody's shooting the three. You'll see 20. I mean, that was unheard of years ago in the NBA. And Steph Curry has taken his team, won the title. I thought I was very impressed with Steph Curry. It is very, very close, however, in the NBA, I think. Giannis, Giannis is right there. The Joker right there. Djokovic is right there. Uh, it's very close in the NBA. But it's Steph Curry by a hair. When we talk about the totality of their careers, I don't think there is much difference between. I think there's definitely an argument made that Steph Curry's had a better career. And best of the NBA 2022, I definitely think Steph Curry. All right, let's get to the local teams, our teams here. All right, so let's start with Terps football. I did actually record this right after watching the bowl game today. So we'll talk about that on the mainstream. But look, this guy has changed the whole map for the Terps. Fantastic all year. Tagovailoa has been. You watched the Terps before he got there, and you watched a team that couldn't throw the ball. Period. They scrappy on defense. They were staying for a while, but as long as they can run the ball, as soon as they used to get out of hand, that was it. Especially when you're playing that heavy metal, those big time teams in the Big Ten. When we talk about teams like Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, this guy really has you staying in games. I think they got to get one more year of him. I don't know if he's NFL level, but I don't think that's completely out of the question. I think he can get better to the point. I could definitely see it. He has the athleticism. He could throw the ball down the field. Can he stay healthy enough? A little small, but he's definitely there. This guy definitely has changed turf football easily here. Of all the awards, I think, was Tagovailoa best for Maryland football in 2022. Basketball, the Terps, in 20, not a good year for them overall, Terps basketball. Mark Turgeon was sent home or he walked home. One of the two. He didn't stay the whole year. Danny Manning. I didn't even know Danny Manning. I forgot Danny Manning was a outstanding college player. Danny Manning was. For those of you too young to even know that how good Danny Manning was as a college player. He was outstanding. Good pro player. Solid pro. I wouldn't call him an all-star level pro. Solid enough pro. Played for Phoenix and a lot of other teams in the NBA. Eric Ayala was outstanding for him last year. This is a typical guy we're seeing this year. You see Dante Scott this year, and you just see Eric Ayala. Slasher, cutter guard that could go to the hole. That's a man-child that scores all the points. That's a leader on the team. And that's what Eric Ayala was for the Terps. I think he's no longer on the Terps after last year. Mark Madison, he was a senior. I think he got drafted. I don't know where he's playing exactly. Probably playing overseas, if I would guess. But he was outstanding for them. I think had not the coaching changed and things happened, I think he definitely would have been. I think it would improve his draft stock there had he been playing under Kevin Willard. So let's shout him out here. Had 15 points a game, outstanding. This is what we see like a lot of college with this type of player. The slasher, cutter guard who handles and scores the points and distributes, and you feed off him. And that's what Eric Ayala was for the Terps for several years. He was the best Maryland basketball 2022, Eric Ayala. All right. Let's go to the Orioles. All right. So we've announced this on the channel already. Best offensive 2022 for the Orioles. I have Anthony Santander without the question. I know everybody wants to anoint Adley Rutschman. I think going forward, no question about it. Adley will probably be your best offensive player. Anthony Santander is a good player. I don't think there's any doubt about it. He stays healthy. You have a guy that's going to hit 30 home runs, close to 100 RBIs. Doesn't matter where he put the fences back in Camden Yards. I think that hurt Matt Castle. It didn't hurt him as much. Average slipped a bit towards the end. He is a bit streaky, I would say. But a lot of great players are streaky. I got no problem with that. He's not one of these guys consistent, but he's going to have stretches where he's white hot and stretches where maybe not as hot. But you keep him healthy. And I noticed they haven't traded him. Good for them. They've been smart enough to keep him all this time. All the trade rumors with him. Hey, we're going to put Kyle Stowers in there. We're going to do this. Anthony Santander is going to be your right fielder, most likely on opening day. So shout him out. Definitely best Oriole offense in 2022. Anthony Santander. Let's go to the pitching. This guy is fantastic. Fun to watch. Fun closer opening. Cool closer entrance. This is exactly what you want for your closer. He didn't even start the year as a closer, though. They had Jorge Lopez, who was a terrible starter. He was a terrible starter in 2020. Moved him to the bullpen. Lopez did a great job in the bullpen, and had set him up. Felix Bautista, rookie. Very interesting journey Felix Bautista had. Not that long ago, and I want to say it was 2021, he was an A-ball to start the year. I think he moved up 3 levels in the minors. That tells you what they think of you when you actually do that. So he's very good in the minors, worked his way up to a spot on the major league roster, and I think he's got a chance. I think he could be a top 10 closer in all of baseball. His 100-plus mile-an-hour fastball is amazing. This guy is so tough to hit. I think he had 1 or 2 bad outings at the end. That was it. He was fantastic. I think the Orioles are very lucky to have him. He was their best pitcher closer of the year, 2022. Going forward, this is going to be your guy going. If one thing, whatever questions they did have, you found Adley Rutschman. You have Gunnar Henderson up now. You've answered some questions. This is not a question for you. Closer position. Next several years, this guy, Felix Batista, is going to be your guy. Ravens. Defense, this was hard. A lot of guys sticking out. When you look at the defensive guys, one name that stuck out was Roquan Smith. I didn't pick him because he was a midseason guy. He hasn't played enough games as a Raven to say best of 2022. Justin Houston's been very good. I really got nothing against Josh Houston. Limited snap count, though. He kind of like is on a pitch count at his age. I kind of looked at that and said, well, that kind of like worked against a little bit. Marcus Williams has been good. Again, injury. Calais, defensive line kind of rotate in and out. The one guy, the constant, has been Marlon Humphrey. Been fantastic. They don't throw to him as much. He did have the one game where I thought he was not as good. But he look, this guy is a top 10 corner in the NFL. Look, so many teams can't find a guy to be a corner for them. This guy absolutely is. This guy absolutely is one of the top defensive players in the NFL. He's fantastic. His coverage is very, very good. One-on-one man coverage. Can you go against what makes a great corner is I call the Deion Sanders coverage. Can you go against the top wide receiver on any team and cover them and do well for the defense? He absolutely can. No doubt about it. He is a number one corner. He was your best defensive player for the whole year. Close, but I'm going with Marlon Humphrey as the best defensive player on the Ravens in 2022. All right. Now, this one is going to surprise people. This one, I really thought about it when we talk about the best offensive player. This was hard. I couldn't say Lamar only because of the injuries. As good as Lamar is, he's missed. And I don't know. And we're recording this before the game on Sunday, so I don't think he's going to play. So he's missed 4 games, and he's really, 5. If you really count the one before, he didn't play at all hardly in that one game where he did get it. So he's really missed several games. You could kind of say the same about J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, missed a bunch of games. Offensive line, gave that consideration. Ronnie Stanley, again, missed a few games. Ronnie Stanley's been very good. Whole line's been good, I think. Right side of the line, I think Ben Powers has become a guy, just use him, a guy who was fighting who everywhere I saw, this guy's going to get cut, this guy's going to get cut. Now he's going to make millions of dollars in the offseason with a big contract. So I didn't say any of the linemen. And as far as that goes, you're certainly not going to say the receiver. You're certainly not going to say any of the wide receivers. That was as big as mess as we all thought it would be. So you're certainly not going to say that. Your best offensive player, a little bit over Mark Andrews. I'm going to say the GOAT, Justin Tucker. He's been fantastic for so long. I call him the GOAT. He's the greatest kicker in the NFL. I don't think there's any. He's putting it in a rear view. I think for years, hopefully I can say it right. And Vinatieri, I think that's right. For New England played for the Colts. He played for years. What Tucker's doing is phenomenal. It almost seems like he's having a down year compared to last year, and he's been outstanding this year as well. So he's your best offensive player. What that says about the offense, that's a different story. But I don't know where they'd be without Justin Tucker. He's your best offensive player in 2022, and he's the greatest kicker of all time. The GOAT, Justin Tucker, the best offensive player for the Ravens in 2022. All right. So we want to thank you very much for watching our standalone video here at Ravori Sports. We want to go ahead and thank you for that. Also, best wishes to you in 2023. We are looking forward to this year, 2023. We are looking forward to more sports commentary, watching you on our social media channels, YouTube, and very soon, on Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to roll it out officially. Our website, again, more products are coming in, so we can go ahead and go online and you can purchase with us here at Ravori Sports. So thank you very much for watching. You have a great rest of your year. Happy New Year.